everybody. My name is Sent, also occasionally known as Prize Man, and too often known as. Hey, you are you at this event? You need to go now. And I'm going to be running for you an amazing game, Final Fantasy Type-0. I like to say the Type-0 stands for how many people have actually played the game. So with that in mind, guys, Tech, are we ready to go? Tech looks ready. Audience, are we ready to go? Audience sounds ready. Physical manifestation of my dread over this run. Are you ready to go?
Yes.
You know what? 2 out of 3. I'll take it. All right. So 3, 2, 1, and let's go. So right at the very start of the game, we have some of the most important tech in the run. Seriously, this saves like a solid 2 minutes, and people say that RPGs don't have speed tech. There we go. We skipped the tutorial. That's huge. You have no idea how difficult that is. So right off the bat, what you can see is Final Fantasy Type-0 is very different than your average Final Fantasy game. It's almost more akin to a Kingdom Hearts, very action-oriented RPG. We're going to be moving around. We're going to be in full control of our main character, and we'll have the AI controlling our side characters as we play. We'll always have a party of up to 3 characters. We might not always have all 3 characters at the same time, though, because the characters who are being controlled by the AI can die, and a lot of the routing in this game depends on who you have alive and where in the stage. So right now, we have just a solid minute of waiting for this airship to stop firing at nothing. So we should take a moment and introduce the rest of my couch. Guys, if you want to chime in.
Good. All right. I'm Barbados00. I'm big fan of this game, big fan of Scent, and happy to be here.
Thank you, Barbados. And Matt?
Hey, yeah, I'm Cool Matty. You probably recognize me from Games Done Quick. Just here to support my best bud in the show here. Hoping to see a great run. And by the way, I got a question for you, son.
Yeah, sure. What's up, Matt?
I thought you had to work today.
Don't worry about it. I'll get it done later.
Okay.
And of course, on hosting duty right now, we have our good boy Fant. What's up, Fant?
Yo, hey, Sent, doing great.
Glad to hear it. So that little section there, yeah, you just kind of have to wait for the airship to despawn. Coming up here, we're going to see the main mechanic of the game that we're really going to be abusing throughout the run, and those are break sites and kill sites. You will see them as yellow or red circles on top of enemies, and by hitting enemies with any ability or attack during those circles, we'll either deal a massive portion of their health bar's damage based on their maximum health, or we're going to instantly defeat them if it's a kill site. So kill site, and missed the timing on that. If you miss the timing on these, it's better to just try and knock them out. Unfortunately, this guy's just like moving into the corner. There we go. So after we down enemies, we need to harvest Phantoma from them. That gives us MP back, and it actually gives us a resource that we can use to craft spells. Final Fantasy Type-0 has an entire spell crafting system. You can change the attributes and properties of all of your magical repertoire, and we're going to be doing absolutely none of that in the run because it's really slow and pointless. But it's a cool feature, so I just figured I'd shout it out real quick. The next couple of minutes are really just us running around and dealing with the tutorial/intro levels. So, I mean, Fant, if you want to talk a little bit, maybe read some donations or tell us a little bit more about the charity or some of our awesome sponsors, and that'd be a great time.
Yeah, of course. Well, we've got, really quick, a $100 donation from Ace Pareto. Getting my Switch raffle entry in early. Love Nami. It is an organization that is near and dear to me, so expect more later. Thank you so much. And also, we've got $600 from none other than Dwango AC.
Ooh, hey. All right, Dwango.
Team TaskBot hosted Desert Tesla charity drive on the way to RPG Limit Break. Take this partial donation on behalf of all the viewers that made Dwango AC and the Axeman melt and freeze on the way to RPG Limit Break. Thanks for making this happen. We have $10 from Le French Restream. Hello from Le French Restream. Small donation for starters. Let's have a great week.
Already got some awesome donations from the community. That's great to see. So you can see we started the game by playing as Ace. He's, I guess, the closest thing you could call to this game's protagonist. The game actually has 14 playable characters, and all of them are the protagonist. So the story's, you know, we're just not going to talk about the story. Don't worry too much about it. But we swapped the Queen here. Queen has a rapier. She knows lightning magic, and you know, she's pretty useful against these mech-type enemies, which are weak to lightning-type damage. We're going to be using her towards the end of the first stage as we get ready to fight the first major boss of the run.
I'm already confused at the run.
Don't worry about it, Matt. It only gets more confusing.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic.
So something important to mention as we run up to these enemies is every character in the game actually has 3 different movement speeds. They have a movement speed with their weapon out, they have a movement speed with their weapon stored, and they have a movement speed while they're walking through town. So the characters we use in stage and in town are going to be different and vary based on the speeds we can get them. So this is the first boss. We have control of Odin. We're going to charge up Zansetsuken here. The percentage is the percentage that it will instant kill your target. I actually missed a 92% in the last Final Fantasy relay, so I'm just going to play it safe and hit the 100 here. Very difficult boss. Got to hold that button down for at least like 15 seconds. So now we have the second phase of it. We get a couple of new characters, but they're really not terribly useful here. We just kind of want to spam Blizzard against the first form, and then swap characters, hit the break site, knock him down. So the way you get higher tier magic in this game is actually charge it up. So we'll have 7 charge up Blizzard Bomb to Blizzara Bomb to do a little bit more damage when its health bar refills. Hit it a few more times, and we just wait for the kill site, and that is the first boss in the first stage down.
That looked very normal.
Oh yeah, no, that's how normal people roll, Matt. I don't know if you've ever seen someone roll before.
I think I saw you roll once.
Yeah, I try to forget about that. So we have just a couple of minutes of walking and exploring the hub area of the game, Academia, if you want to read out a little bit more, Fan.
Yeah, I'm going to try, but this one's a doozy. We have a $250 from Gunnerdine. I hear some people may know what's coming. I will do my best here. Punnermdine here. It's great to be back at RPG Limit Break for the 3rd time now. I was so excited that it was hard to sleep, so the state of REM took me a long time to reach. It's also time to reveal the usual ace up my sleep and bring on the puns that really cater to the audience in both good and bad ways. I'll hopefully make Machina more donations throughout the marathon than last year, so the comments will likely be shorter, but not this one. Despite that, I still plan to throw in everything I can, including the kitchen sink, because I have a full tray of puns. So keep yo bats in the belfry, as you'll never truly be able to get rid of these types of comments. Are you really going to not enjoy the groans and facepalms the couch and audience are bound to have? Do you really want to deny witnessing such great reactions? Can you really call for me to cease and desist? Even Susaya video compilation of last year's puns, and she loved it. I said to her, I'll call you later, and can assure everyone this will be a great marathon. But even if a mob does form, I have my car idling outside in case I need to make a hasty retreat. Good luck to Scent on the run, and remember, if 7 is an amnesiac detective who is joining up with you in playing the nonary game after having saved a bunch of kids from it in the past, you're playing the wrong game.
Matt, give that man a raise.
I was going to say, can we give him a round of applause for getting that right through? Man. That was a tongue twister.
So while we were getting that amazing pun-filled comment read out, we did a quick little menu there. The major notes of it were we swapped around the order of the party. The party is, of course, named after a deck of cards, as you might have realized from some of those jokes. So they start in card order from ace to king. We kind of want to mix that up a little bit because some of the more important characters are further down on that list than we'd like. We also swapped up some equipment. We promoted Sice and gave her the ability Accelerate, which increases her speed, because for whatever reason, she is the fastest character in town. She's actually one of the slower characters with her weapon drawn, and I think the slowest character without it drawn, but she's fast in town, so all right. And here we're going to be on our first mission. Just go ahead and take that. Nope. So one thing that can happen when you enter missions is you'll see that yellow glow around enemies, or around characters. That means they're primed. Primed characters deal double damage with physical and magical attacks, and it is an incredibly useful buff to have, but it's only really relevant for these first couple of stages. In this stage, we really want to see either Primed Catter or Primed Rem. We didn't get either of them, but it's not a huge deal. It costs, I think, a grand total of like 10 seconds if you don't get either of those. It does mean you get hit here, unfortunately, just the timing doesn't work out as well. So something you're going to notice here, Rem, her dodge is actually faster than her walk speed, so this is just how she moves. I assure you it's completely natural.
Is this near all of a sudden?
Maybe. We want Rem for a lot of the game when she's available to us because Rem has incredible magic stats. I think she's, I think her worst magic stat is like 3rd place over the cast of 14 characters. So she's pretty strong when it comes to spells, and spells are just pretty strong in this game in general. One of the major reasons we actually run Cadet isn't because of like anything else in the game. It's because the higher difficulties massively increase the MP cost for abilities. Rem got knocked down there, but it's not a huge deal. We'll just take out Samurai Jack here. Yes, they named the Samurai Jack. This game loves its puns. Real quick, talk to that surrendering soldier. I didn't get his item. If you defeat the enemy commander in a room, all the other soldiers will surrender, and if you talk to them, they'll give you items to let them go. Some of those are actually fairly useful for us, so we'd like to grab them whenever possible. It's not a huge deal if we don't. We only need 1 or 2 throughout the entire run. So every time we come back to town, we're going to switch to Slice as our main character, again, just because she's the fastest to move around with. And right here we get introduced to the kind of side quest mechanic of the game, which is between every one of the main missions, you'll have a certain number of hours to take on student activities. You can go to class or hang out with your friends or engage in side quests or go out into the open world and do things. We're going to do none of that because we're part of Class 0 and we're already the protagonists, so I mean, we're good. We don't need any more friends. We have 14 playable characters. We are going to take 1 student lecture there, though, to get 2,000 experience for the whole party. That's going to give us the ability to level up some stuff that will be important for the next couple of missions. We used to actually take 3 of those experience lectures, but we found out that the final stage of the game is scaled based on the level of your lowest party member. So we're going to be intentionally keeping one of our party members at an incredibly low level so that the final area has like level 3 enemies when the rest of the party's level 30. So here's a fun little addition in the HD remake of this game. The original PSP version of the game has some RTS elements to it. You got to do these weird little RTS missions. They don't play anything like the rest of the game. And in the HD remakes, you can just say that you don't want to participate. Like, the army's asking you to go to the front lines and win this fight for them, and you're like, I don't feel like it. So we're going to be skipping all 3 of those during the run. They're also incredibly long. That and the loading times are one of the reasons that the PSP run, I think, is 6 or 7 hours long at this point. Barbados, do you know offhand?
It's close to 7.
Yeah, it's long. And again, part of that is also just, PSP load times are not the best.
No.
So anyway, what we did there is we went to the Chocobo Ranch and we got some Chocobos. Now the game has this cool like Chocobo breeding sub-game where you're supposed to put together different Chocobos with different food, and you'll get like, all the different kinds of Chocobos in the Final Fantasy universe that can move across different terrain and move faster and fight strong. Yeah, we don't need any of that. We're just going to take the 20 Chocobos they give us to start breeding with and ride them throughout the entire game. So that's good. Now, coming up here, we are going to do a quick menu and make some upgrades to the party. We are going to want to promote Catter and give her Accelerate. Accelerate's going to be a massive skill we want on all of the characters we're really going to spend time playing, just because obviously if they move faster, great. Rem's going to get Triple Slip, Slipstream, and Undodgeable, which will let her do an unlimited number of dodges in a row and actually give her a bunch of iframes on those dodges. So she'll pretty much be untouchable while she's dodging. And finally, we want to go to our friend Machina and upgrade his Cyclone Drive, because Machina actually does a fair bit of damage. He's just not really super mobile, and luckily there's an enemy that's not going to be super mobile that we're going to need to fight in the next stage. So that lines up perfectly.
Yeah. A lot of the time spent in the menu is really, spent menuing is really movement tech for the characters that we use, along with a little bit of equipment changing.
Now, as a kind of fun fact, Sai's movement on the overworld is just about as fast on Chocobo as it is off Chocobo. I think she's very slightly faster on her Chocobo. Thankfully, all the characters have the same speed on Chocobos. So you might be wondering, like, why even bother to get Chocobos in the first place? That seems kind of like a weird detour to take. But while you're on a Chocobo, you can't run into random encounters, because this game, of course, has random encounters. They are fairly long and actually can be fairly dangerous, because they don't scale to your level, they scale to the area. Some of the areas we're going to be going into, we are going to be significantly underleveled for. So coming up on the second mission here, we want to bring Jack, Machina, and Rim to the party. Hopefully one of them gets primed. None of them got primed, because that's just how it do. But no worries, we'll deploy the squad. And now we can finally see Rim's final form of movement. This is how she's going to be moving for the rest of the game. And don't worry, I assure you, it's completely natural. What, you don't turn into a human torpedo when you need to save the world? I don't know what to tell you. So the other thing we unlocked after that last mission was secret orders. You'll see a little red envelope in the top. That gives you a buff, but also gives you a mission to complete. And if you don't, the game will kill your main character. But we can avoid that by just going to a different area. And there's Machina's level of expertise. He's really good at destroying walls. He destroyed that wall. Wall didn't stand a chance.
Did he just stab that wall? Is that what I saw?
Yeah, he just stabbed the wall.
Drilled it.
Yeah, Machina has like drill blades. It's a weird weapon. Jack, of course, has his katana. One thing we can do is we can actually have him power up his katana with the power of anime. That's going to let him one-shot these guys. Jack also has a passive ability called Ninja Slice, where if he attacks you from behind, he does bonus damage and has a increased crit chance. So we're going to be making use of that quite a bit throughout the run. There we go. A lot of times, not only do you need to defeat the enemy leader, you also need to harvest them to get rid of their body, or the next wave of enemies or next objective won't spawn. So like here, you need to get rid of these guys, and then wait for the next wave, which Jack can clean up in 2 hits if he crits, but 3 hits if he doesn't. So we're coming up on probably one of the weirdest parts of the game. The game is actually really solid when it comes to bugs. Like, for the most part, there really isn't anything you can abuse aside from an exploit where you can, you know, basically send your character into a time-based training mission and then adjust your system clock to give them infinite experience. But one of the few things you can do is basically skip a cutscene here, / long period where nothing happens. All you need to do is get rid of this guy. And I'm going to wait just a little bit and then quit the game.
Totally intentional.
Yep, and then that just triggers the next cutscene. We have no idea why that works, but it saves like a solid minute.
And it's the only place that we can actually do that we know of. So,
So close. One of the attacks missed, but that's fine. Not a huge time loss.
yeah, the strat there is to hit him, I think the break site, and then he drops down, and then you drill sword him with Machina.
Yep, and if you get it right, the Machina drill swords will just repeatedly hit break sights on him until he goes down. We got a good bit of walking and talking for us, so Fan, if you want to take it away with some donations or other blurbs, be my guest.
Of course. We have $500 from Anonymous.
Ooh, right, yeah.
No comment, but thank you for your donation. We also have another $25 from Anonymous. I've never watched RPG Limit Break before, but I saw that none other than Seton was doing a run and had to watch. Good luck. I'll see you in less than 2 months.
Have I been saying your name wrong this whole time?
It's a common mistake, Matt. Don't worry about it.
We have $200 from J0.
Oh, hey, Jay.
It says, "Hey, Sent, don't forget to do the thing."
Of course, I'm always here to do the thing. That is my primary function in life. So for whatever reason, you have to talk to the commander lady here twice to start this mission. It's the only time that happens in the game. It's just really weird. Anyway, more walking and talking, so keep going, Fant.
Of course, we have $54 from Sharky.
54.
Since Type-0 comes from the FF13 Trilogy's world, please accept this as the first of many 54s this week.
I can only hope there will be a ton of 54s this week. And Sharky actually brings up a really good point. Final Fantasy Type-0 is part of the Fabula Nova Crystallis series, which includes 13, Type-0, Agito, which is a game that never happened, and as much as Square Enix would like to deny it, Final Fantasy 15.
And there's more. Good luck, meow meow, Choco, ciao.
Oh,
Sorry.
Hitting me with all the 13 memes. Thank you, Sharky.
We have another $100 from Ace Burrito. Here's round 2. Donation goes to whatever incentive sent once.
Cool thing. Yeah, I have my runner's choice set to the Cat's Corner in Tales of Zestiria because I love that bonus boss, and that area is just, it's stupid fun. And yeah, I want to see that happen.
We have $50 from Iggy Zig. I'm always happy to see RPG Limit Break, and being able to catch it live all week is such a treat. Best of luck to everyone.
Thank you, Iggy. Good to hear from you.
We have $50 from Lightborn. Looking forward to a great event full of awesome games and runners. Big thanks to the RPG Limit Break staff, crew, and volunteers for making this possible. Best of luck breaking the old donation record. Well, we're off to a good start, I think.
All right, so for this mission, we actually get to choose a squad command. We can take triple attack, which involves everyone in the party using their signature move and striking a single target. But we're going to take Eidolon summoning, and we're going to summon Roller Disco Derby Shiva. And I'd like to introduce everyone to the workhorse of this run. She is incredibly fast, incredibly powerful, and yeah, pretty much just makes the mid-game of this run kind of, I won't say a joke, but you're going to be seeing a lot of this move. We're going to pirouette on enemies all day. And if Shiva looks hard to control, maybe like she has ice physics, yes, she has ice physics. She has permanent ice physics. And we're speeding up the game, actually. Something I didn't mention is the HD PC remake included the ability to increase your character's animation speed by up to 3 times, which affects both their move and dodge speed. It's why some of the characters' dodges look maybe a little ridiculous in an unintended fashion. It also makes Shiva and some other characters go incredibly fast, and that can make it incredibly hard to control them. I don't know if Barbados shares this strategy, but personally what I like to do when I need to activate something as Shiva is actually just take my hands off the control stick, push the button, and pray, and sometimes it works.
Yeah, Shiva will just continue sliding around indefinitely if you don't do something of the manner like that. It's especially with the speed up. It's silly.
Yeah, it's worth noting you can actually give Shiva Accelerate. I'm not going to in this run, but if you do, you're a madman.
Gotta go fast.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, you should be familiar with this character. She's blue. She goes fast. That's everything you know, right?
Is there any pinball in this?
You know, I don't think there is any pinball. I apologize.
That's a letdown.
I mean, you know, if you close your eyes, it can still be pinball.
I guess bouncing off the walls is kind of like pinball, right?
Yeah, sure, same thing.
Yeah, okay.
Go really fast.
So here's our introduction to our nemesis in this run. If Shiva is our strength, Shield Man here is our kryptonite. Shield Man's shield is made of the strongest material known in the multiverse, and it can block an Eidolon as long as he's in front of it. We need to get behind those guys to have any hope of damaging them, and let me tell you, that's not always easy, especially when they like to huddle in a corner. So for the rest of this mission, we have this very limited 25-minute timer. I don't know if we're going to be able to get the mission done in that time. I mean, there's like 4 rooms we have to go through, and we only have the power of Shiva to support us. This is effectively an auto-scroller where we need to wait for the water to drain, so, you know, by all means, Fan, if you want to take it away, go for it.
Of course. We have $50 from Oasis. Hey, y'all, it's Oasis here. Really glad to be around for yet another RPG Limit Break. I've been watching these since its inception, and this is my 3rd year volunteering. Hope everyone enjoys themselves, and please be excellent to one another. We have $10 from Chibi Scala. Go Scent.
Agreed.
We have $10 from Anonymous. FF13 is a great game. This will not break the chat, Kappa.
I'll agree with that one. FF13 is a great speedrun.
It is great. We have $15 from Novara. First time watching RPG Limit Break live and just started doing speedrun marathons myself earlier this year. Really looking forward to seeing all the awesome RPGs that will be played this week. I would like to remind everybody that May is Mental Health Month, and as such, it is fitting that we're here supporting NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Fewer than 50% of adults living with these conditions receive treatment each year. Reasons include stigma, lack of access, and lack of knowledge and resources, a situation that NAMI aims to improve.
Thank you very much for that, Fan. Now, coming up here, we're coming up on the boss of this area, and I want to share a little bit of a funny story. So, Final Fantasy Type-0 has been lucky enough to be included in the Final Fantasy Relay, which, if you don't know, is an event that is held every now and then on the RPG Limit Break channel, where a bunch of us will get together and we'll play Final Fantasy games from 1 all the way up the chain to 15, I think, was even in the newest one, including side games from time to time, like Type-0. But of course, with a relay, we have multiple teams of different runners going at the same time. And, we needed some unified splits, since all of the runners of this game basically split at different points on their own preferences. So the staff picked out a couple of bosses, including this first one, which was great because we all saw, oh yeah, here are the splits we need to prepare for. And not a single person knew what this first split was, because none of us have ever bothered to learn his name. In fact, I still don't know what it is. I was hoping I could stall long enough with my words to see it and then confidently exclaim it.
It starts with an O.
Is it Major Odeon? I'm going to go with Major Odeon. Either that or it's Odie from Garfield. One of those two. As you can see, Shiva's slipperiness really starts to wear against us when we need to fight a bunch of enemies in a wide area. It's just really easy to slide away from the enemy you're trying to hit, especially if they dodge in the opposite direction. I forgot to look at the boss's name. Now it will be lost to history. We'll never know.
Hit up that VOD. Only way you'll know.
So thankfully, after every mission, we don't have to walk back to Academia. The game actually just gives you a very convenient teleport home option. We're going to be making heavy use of that whenever it's allowed.
Yeah, otherwise we'd be running through very hostile territory with enemies, plus the random encounters, and that would take forever.
Yeah, luckily the game only restricts Chocobo use in one chapter, but it's still, if you ever do need to walk somewhere without a Chocobo, it's a dangerous proposition for sure. So once again, we're just going to completely ignore all of our classmates and friends and start the next mission. We are here on a mission, guys. We do not have time to go to the soda shop with anyone. Are there soda shops in this world? I don't know, man. It's Final Fantasy 13. Anything can happen.
Is there a student council?
That's a good question, and one that I don't have the answer to.
Dang.
So coming up here is actually the first mini game of the run. The run has a couple of, or I should say the game has a couple of little mini activities you can do. Thankfully, this is the only one that's absolutely required as part of the run. But we're going to have to pilot a suit of Magitech armor across a hostile environment within a time limit, making sure we collect enough fuel canisters to sustain ourselves for the trip. The routing for this is very complicated. We had to really think about it a lot. And, I hope you guys will enjoy the execution of it when we get there. First, we're going to go into town, though, real quick. We're going to buy a couple of items. We're going to get a new weapon for our friend Samurai Jack, as well as a teleport stone, which will let us escape a random encounter, which we'll need a little bit later in the run. Oh, all right. So here we go. Luckily, I practiced this. I got it first try every time I did it in the practice room. I think we're going to be fine. So yeah, we have a solid, I believe, 5 minutes. No, only 2 minutes. Wow, my timer was way off. So this might be a little tighter than I thought, and we're here. That's the entire thing. I don't know why there's even a mini game for it. Don't worry about it. Whoop, that's one too many. Change equipment. Nope. Eidolon, Shiva.
Oh, don't forget to equip.
I'll do it next mission. It's not a.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it doesn't come into play this mission, so it's fine. I did not equip the new weapon to Jack, but thankfully we don't actually use Jack to attack anything in this mission, so not going to make a difference. So this is Cater. This is Cater on haste. Don't ever let your Cater get on haste. She's too fast.
Oh, hey, you didn't bug the door.
Yeah, sometimes that I delayed picking up the haste there. Sometimes if you run too quickly down that corridor, the door just doesn't open. I can't blame the programming, though, because I don't think they ever intended you to go this fast.
This game needs a miles per hour number.
So right now we're
there it
sabotaging.
is.
We're sabotaging plans for their brand new fancy mech. What Sent's going to be doing is he's going to come into the room. He's going to kill a certain enemy, and that's going to drop the key, and that's going to allow us to hack the terminal. There's also these alarm things he'll want to destroy. Otherwise, it'll send a bunch of enemies, and he'll have to wait, and that's slow.
Yeah, if I don't destroy them, a bunch of enemies will spawn into the room, and then you have to defeat all the enemies if you want to proceed. Attacking one enemy is... The alarms are actually invincible until the room's alerted, so you need to attack one enemy first. Thankfully, the same enemy always has the card, and after that first room, we can pick up an invisibility power-up from a special order, so we can just kind of run in and take care of business.
Was that Metal Gear in that screen there?
Effectively, yes. We are disabling the Metal Gear weapon they've developed.
No, it can't be.
You could even say it would be a weapon to surpass Metal Gear. I mean, you could say that. It'd be a meme, though.
That's just silly. This is Final Fantasy, clearly.
Clearly. So now that we've disabled the systems, we can head into the base proper and actually destroy the machine. We've got just a little bit of walking and some upgrading to do. So, Fan, if you want to take it away for a minute or two, be my guest.
Sure, we have $25 from Chikobo. Good luck on Shiva Roller Disco Derby. Sent? Prizes? Prizes.
Prizes.
We have $25 from Daiichi Lu Azure. Samurai Jack needs to hit the road, Jack, and you'll take no flack, and that's whack. Also, Sent, watch out for shovels to your spleen, okay?
Context, please.
I
Sent
mean,
can take it away on that one.
frankly, I don't know what the context on that is, but I'm going to be watching out for shovels in the near future.
I can't believe you've forgotten about this, Sent.
This is going to come up in your performance review.
Oh, man, I'm going to get fired and get a shovel to the spleen. It's the worst day ever.
We have $100 from
Hey.
Sylvan Flux.
Cater didn't die.
Oh dang, it's RPG Limit Break time already. I've been a fan of the event and its support for Nami for years, but now I can donate, so I shall. Let us elect the way of cats.
Cats are indeed the future. So in these next 3 rooms, all we need to do is just make sure we eliminate all of the guards in the room. And a couple of them, a few more will spawn in as we get rid of them. But thankfully, I know where they spawn in, and Shiva just makes quick work of everything. One kick is good enough. One of the cool things about the game is the Eidolons actually have like a full set of command moves. Like Shiva has a neutral attack, a side attack, a back attack. What's not cool is that most of them are completely worthless. So really you're just going to see Shiva do a lot of her sliding kick and a lot of pirouettes throughout the run as the other moves have either wonky hitboxes or, are very slow.
Does she use her hair like Bayonetta?
She doesn't, but that'd be really cool. So anyway, I promised that every character would get to do something in this run. Here's Machina's real contribution to the run. Here you go, Machina. And he's dead. So yeah, the enemy commander shows up, and he just decides to like instantly kill whoever's leading your party at the moment. Nothing prevents that. The re-raise status doesn't protect from that. It's a real mean thing to do to you the first time you're playing the game, and you got your favorite character out, you're going through the stage, and then all of a sudden, oh, okay. Guess I don't get to play that character. So again, we have to deal with shield guys, and unfortunately, at this point, we have to deal with them with Rim on foot. And man, they are blocking me today. Your best effort against them is to kind of run back and forth and try to get behind them and cast a Blizzard Bomb because it centers around Rem. So hopefully you'll hit them right as they run past. But even then, it takes 2, and it can be pretty rough.
Yeah, the enemies when they're dodging have a suspicious amount of iframes that we're not privy to, and you'll notice they can even dodge summons, and they'll just dodge and dodge.
Yeah, they are dodge masters for sure. So the idea for most of the stages is we want to take exactly enough cadets in to handle as many summons as we're going to need to get through the area. Since a lot of stages can actually be completed by running out of cadets on the final boss of the area. I took a couple of extra cadets to this stage just out of caution. It is a marathon run, and Final Fantasy Type-0 actually follows a very old RPG philosophy where if you run out of characters, the game is over. There is no retry feature, load a save. So we will be making a safety save or 2 throughout the run just in case. But I also have a number of backup saves, again, just in case. Hopefully we won't see them. Won't even need to know they're there. Here's actually one of the places things can go really wrong. When that guy dies, he drops a grenade. And if your AI are too close to him, they will die even through the extra defense they gain. All right, so now we're going to fight what I would really consider the first major boss in the run. Brionac, or as his pilot shouts, number 277, Brionaku! But see, there you go. Oh, get in the hole. So yeah, he has a lot of really dangerous attacks, and not a lot of really phases where you can hit him. You really need to hit the break sites to even effectively do damage. This is the attack you actually really don't want to see. He slowly summons up smaller mechs and throws them at you, but you can hit him back. It's time for some good old boss tennis. Every game needs a boss that plays boss tennis with you. Yeah, unfortunately, this costs a bunch of time. It's a lot slower than some of his other moves where you get multiple break sites in a row. After you do enough damage to him, he'll fall down, and that's when you get a couple of chances to break sight him. And you need to kill sight him to actually end the boss fight. That's a trend that Brionac starts. Most of the bosses in this game, you need to hit their break sight at least once to trigger their sort of end game, and then you need to hit their kill sight to end the fight. He might want to do one more attack on me. Yep, he's going to do one more attack. I call this attack the kitty paws because it just looks like he's a cat slapping at the platform. Yeah, got little kitty paws. Just bop, bop. Anyway, that's the end of the Brionac fight. That's going to take us to the real final boss of this area. Like I said, I brought a few extra characters just because this stage can really go wrong. Unfortunately, it went perfectly, so now I have to waste time fighting Nimbus. Nimbus is the White Tiger Primus Lassie. I should talk a little bit about the world while we take forever for this fight to end. But just for reference, Nimbus is level 133. We have absolutely no chance of winning this fight, and the game knows that and does not attempt to make you win it. So the story of Type-0 involves the 4 elemental nations. You have Suzaku, the Red Bird Nation, Byakko, the White Tiger Nation, Genbu, the Black Tortoise Nation, and Seryu, the Blue Dragon Nation. And long ago, the 4 nations lived in harmony until the Fire Nation was attacked.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan did a great job with the adaptation of this game. Really went light on the Final Fantasy aspects of it, but I appreciate it. So anyway, we're part of the Vermilion Bird team, or the Suzaku Nation. And basically, we're at war with everyone because we're super cool, and everyone hates us for it. So the characters we're playing are actually part of Class 0, which is a super high-ranking secret military class of students, and we go on all the cool missions. And all of us were handpicked to serve by Dr. Alresia, who all of the members of Class 0 refer to as Mother. And in a weird way, even if you have the audio set to Japanese, they refer to her as Mother in English rather than anything in Japanese. It's strange, and she may or may not be a god. Spoiler alert: she's a god, and she's just kind of bored. This whole game's plot makes absolutely no sense. I'm not going to waste time explaining it because, frankly, you don't need to know, and I couldn't adeptly tell you it anyway. Something history repeats infinitely. Something Sid is in this game. You won't see him for another hour, but yeah, he makes an appearance. It's in the contract. Sid's got to get in every Final Fantasy. So this Moogle is the most annoying NPC in the game because he is the only standby until next mission NPC who has his dialogue option in a different place. So muscle memory really just destroys you there. Anyway, we're moving on to our next mission. There was a ceasefire called while we were in the depths of the enemy base, and now we have to escape from the city. Follow me, set me free, trust me, and we'll escape from the city, I think. That's how it goes.
I knew it. It's a Sonic game.
It is a Sonic game, Matt. I'm sorry, I was lying. I was hoping you wouldn't get on the couch if I didn't tell you. Secret's out now, though. Oh, whoops. I ran past two guys.
Well, we do have $15 from Stealth Archer saying Sonic Type-0
It sounds like something they make.
I feel insulted. Type-0 is a good game. I'm sorry. It's got its flaws, and its story makes no sense, but it's a good game. So something worth mentioning to note with Eidolons that I haven't really talked about very much is some of the Eidolons you can control manually. Shiva is one of them. However, most of them are just automatic and do whatever they want. And if you ever swap off of your Eidolon for any reason, you actually can't tag back into it until the timer runs out and you summon it again. This means at a lot of points in the run, there are going to be parts where we really have to tag off of Shiva because an enemy is immune to ice or is even healed by ice damage. But once we do, we won't be able to control Shiva again, and that's really affected the routing with what characters we prefer in certain areas.
Yeah, and anytime we run into a save room, it'll also desummon your summon, so that's another situation where we swap off.
Yeah, if you ever see us in an area with usually a save crystal and a healing pad, Eidolons will be dispelled if they enter that room. So we'll tag off of them to avoid the little bit of loss of control you get when your Eidolon is dispelled. Also, I know I'm mispronouncing Eidolon. I'm used to calling them Eidolons. I'm working on it. I know it's wrong. I wouldn't be sent if I could correctly pronounce anything. As you can see, case in point. So anyway, now we need to get into this weird expansive train system. They have some cool technology, though, like super teleporting trains. See, look at that. We need that in real life. We were stuck behind a train out here in Utah for 20 minutes last night. It's horrible. Fant was there. Fant can comment on that.
I'd rather not. That was a painful experience.
Just need to be super teleporting trains, Fant, I'm telling you. So we just got a couple of minutes here of sliding through these train tracks and dealing with marked enemies. Fant, if you want to take it away for a little bit.
Of course, we have another $10.54 from Sharky. So,
54.
Do you think you can ride this Chocobo? We have it $25 from Grandma. Good luck sent and all runners. Shout out to our grandson, Cool Maddie.
Oh, jeez.
Aww.
We have $10 from Moondeek. Could it be the legendary prize man here to school us on how to break Type-0? Good luck sent on the run, and here's to a great RPG limit break.
I gotta say, the Prizeman lore is really confusing now.
Yeah, there's been 3 or 4 seasons, Matt. I know you try to ignore it for your sanity, and I don't blame you. Whoops. So you assign new cadets and swap between the cadets you have with the D-pad. Unfortunately, this D-pad I have is a little finicky, and sometimes I swap when I want to bring up a new cadet. Here's Seven's use. She has a really cool whip blade, and what we can do is we can use the whip blade to just drag that guy across space and time. Normally, you'd have to run around this entire area to actually get to him, but now we'll just drag him across space and time, make it easy. We got time for another quick one if you got one, Fant. This is a little bit of a short auto-scroller on the train.
We've got $13.37 from Pit01. Happy to see Cent opening RPG Limit Break this year. Best of luck on the run. See all you wonderful people later this week.
Shoutouts to Pidge, another amazing runner of all kinds of different RPGs. Oop. Okay, got him. The movement on this train is particularly obnoxious just because of how harshly Shiva tends to slide around and how often these enemies just really love to run away from you. Little trick we're going to be doing here, doesn't save much time, but I got to point it out every time we do, is after you defeat this boss enemy, the game actually prevents you from switching characters. But if we input the attack and then immediately swap characters, we can switch off of Shiva, which is important because we're going to be forced into a rest area through a cutscene. So here's where the bracelets we bought earlier really come into play. They're going to let Rim cast a Blizzara Bomb in this area. They give her just enough ice magic to do it, and that means we're going to be able to take out 3 guards that pop out of a truck as soon as they pop out of a truck. What? Door? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. That's supposed to disappear when those enemies go away. It just kind of stuck there, but you know what? It's fine.
You gotta wait for Koopo to give you permission there.
Yeah. So I should probably talk about the Moogle. So funny thing, sort of. Basically, this game can be played in English or Japanese voices, and I thought about submitting a bid war for language, but frankly, I really only ever want to play this game in English or in Japanese, and it's not because of the English voice actors for most of the characters. Most of them are fine. One or two of them I don't really like, and one or two of them I think I actually really like more in English. It's the Moogle. The English Moogle has the worst voice I've ever heard, and I'm so sorry to the voice actor if you're watching. I don't mean to insult you, but like the English Moogle has this really low-pitched Koopo, and it sounds wrong to me. It's not a Moogle. And the Moogle has by far the most voice lines of any character in the game. So take that what you will as a nod to this game's quality, where the Moogle gets more voice lines than the actual characters.
Until now, I thought the Moogle's voice was like the characters you were playing, their voice, and I was really confused.
I mean, this game would be like 3 or 4 tiers higher on the Final Fantasy tier list if all the characters were just replaced with Moogles. I'm going to say that. So again, we have a bit of a short auto-scroller inside this building. We may have accidentally killed this woman's commanding officer, and she may be a little bit upset about it. So she's going to do the sensible thing and climb into her spider tank and start raining missiles down us. As you do, frankly. So Fant, if you want to take it away while I endure this missile barrage, by all means.
We have $25 from Brad saying good luck. And we have $5 from Anonymous. Cadet-06 is the best Sonic game. Don't at me.
I might have to add him about that. I don't know.
And that's why they're anonymous. How are you going to at an anonymous person?
I've been got.
Load up Discord, at everyone. Easy, done.
just at everyone on Discord. All Discords, Matt. Well, this is annoying. I got rid of the wrong character. So I'm going to have to fight this snow giant the old-fashioned way by hitting his brake sights. Not a huge deal. Just gotta bait him into doing his big swing. Right now he wants to clap. Everyone clap along with the giant. All right, you guys are bad at timing claps. I'm sorry.
We're clapping for him, not with him.
Oh.
Yeah,
All right.
this-
I'm bad at timing hits, apparently. We're all just bad at timing right now.
Yeah, this enemy is one of the early instances where we can't really use Shiva because it healed him.
I don't know if this heals him or if he's just immune, but yeah, Shiva is completely ineffective against this guy. And unfortunately, none of the characters we have reasonable fire magic, because the one character who has the strongest fire magic is Deuce, who we didn't bring because we don't like Deuce. There we go. That's the kill site.
I think the audience had a bit of lag there.
There's some clap delay. I mean, you should know that, Matt. It's a part of a marathon. You got some clap delay built in. it's to help
Input lag.
It's to help the stream sync, obviously.
Oh, okay.
But with that done, we can go back to Shiva and being lost in corridors because she is the slipperiest character. Ideally, you want these guys to get close enough that Shiva can smack them, but sometimes they just really like to stay just out of range, and unfortunately, there's not a ton you could do there. Also, Shiva, come on. Just go around the corner. It's not that complicated. I mean, I guess I've never tried to fight anything on ice skates, so maybe I can't talk, but it doesn't feel like it'd be that complicated. So we need to wait for this behemoth to despawn for the next enemy to show up. We could swap off of Shiva to speed that up, but again, we wouldn't be able to get back on Shiva. And unfortunately, Shiva's AI really likes to use the move she has that does 0 damage but inflicts the freeze status effect, which is, hey, that's some cool utility. Except you could just kill the enemy. So King is one of the few characters in the game who actually just moves faster with his weapons stowed. He's got twin pistols and a really cool mullet. And yeah, that's really all King's got going for him, frankly. He shouts reload when he reloads, so I mean, you could pretend you're playing Time Crisis. So again, we just have Spider-Mech doing whatever a Spider-Mech can, which is frankly whatever it wants, because this is the fantasy universe, man.
This game's got more mashups than Smash.
This is the least ambitious crossover event of all time. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. They mixed Final Fantasy and more Final Fantasy. So now we're at the boss of this stage. We finally get to fight the mech in earnest. It's very important that we hit a break site on Vajra before her health bar depletes. Otherwise, we will not be able to actually kill her, and she'll climb a wall and run away from us. Luckily, she gave me the missile attack, so I just set my speed to 2, and it's a quick and easy fight.
Yeah, that's how you want that fight to go, because unoptimally she can sort of jump on the wall and get into a situation where you can't really hit her.
Yeah, she has a bunch of attacks she can do that are just really annoying and make it very hard for you to deal damage to her or to hit the break site associated with them. So now our party is just kind of stuck out in the middle of the woods. Luckily, there's this convenient clearing and cabin for us to use as a town for 30 seconds. So a little bit earlier in the run, I made sure to go out of my way to pick up a teleport stone. The reason we did that was because in this area we are not allowed to use chocobos. We're trying to sneak back to our rendezvous point after whatever we were doing in the city. It probably wasn't good. Don't worry about it. Not important. But on the way back, we are guaranteed one encounter. It's just going to happen. So we get into a random encounter. We wait for everything to spawn in. Use our teleport stone, and that's the encounter. That encounter can actually be one of several different things, and before we just used to use our triple attack and clear the encounter pretty quickly. But one of the random encounters we can get is against a bunch of Magitech armor, and since we're not allowed to summon in those fights and only get one triple attack, that encounter actually loses a fair bit of time and can even be dangerous, although you have all 14 of your characters to go through before you game over. And yeah, now we just have a little bit of walking and talking as we have to explain, what we were doing in there and why no one can remember what we were doing. So a plot point I should mention about this game is that in universe, when people die, everyone forgets about them. They're gone from history forever. So a lot of the times we do things and the people are like, what were you guys doing again? Was it important? I feel like that every day, frankly, so I can relate. This game really speaks to me. Fant, we got some walking and talking to do, so by all means.
So I would like to remind everybody we have a bid war for a couple things for the next run coming up right after Final Fantasy Type-0. That's Adventures of Mana. You can choose to name the hero or the heroine. Currently, the hero has a Booper at $50 in first place. Nothing in for the heroine, so if you want to get your desired character name in there, please get your donations in for that. And currently, the soundtrack version for Adventures of Mana is currently original, the Game Boy version, in the lead with $104, and the remake in second place with $15. So if you have any preference for those, please get your donations in.
Sounds good. So what we did there was we skipped the second RTS mission. That one, the first one's pretty simple and pretty easy. Like if we were to accidentally do it, it would not be the end of the world. That second one I think is a solid like 20 minutes by itself. It's kind of ridiculous, frankly. So we're also at the point of the game where Machina starts really taking on his role as the edgy brooding character. So he leaves the party right now to go, I don't know, brood somewhere. It's not important. He's effectively gone for the rest of the game, but we really, we got our use out of him. He beat up a wall. He did a great job at it. But coming up here, we do have basically the scariest stage in the entire game. Our AI partners have a nasty habit of getting themselves killed, and we do not have a ton of spare people to throw at this mission. So things can go very, very wrong very fast, and unfortunately have gone very wrong very fast in past relays and other marathons. But before we really get to the dangerous part of the stage, we get to play 3 minutes of Duck Hunt. So, I'm going to do that annoying dog laugh. And Fant, I want you to, read some donations, read some blurbs, do something to distract us from the fact that I'm just pointing my cursor and mashing the X button right now.
Do you even have to aim that thing?
I don't know, actually. There might be a spot where you can put this and just fire and it'll hit everyone.
This is just like Sonic Adventure, see?
Well, I would like to remind everybody that RPG Limit Break is once again proud to partner with the Yeti to bring you 8 amazing t-shirts and their pins as well. Head over to theyeti.com/RPGLB to take a look at the designs and pick up the ones you want, and know that $4 from every t-shirt purchased will be donated to NAMI. Remember, the Yeti is spelled Y-E-T-E-E, yeti.com/RPGLB.
So in this stage, the basic idea of what we're doing is we're taking our airship fleet to go fight the Seiryu or Blue Dragon Nation. And fittingly, the Blue Dragon Nation has a lot of dragons. Most of them are blue, if you're wondering.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, it's something really on form for once. So that enemy we fought there is actually one of the first scary points of the area. It can very easily inflict the burn debuff and take out Jack or Catter. If you lose Catter, it's not a huge deal. She's mostly just move speed in this stage. But Jack really is your workhorse in a lot of areas, and not having him at full strength can be a problem. So yeah, we just have another solid minute of Duck Hunt before we get to the stage proper. A funny thing to mention is that the first 2 phases of Duck Hunt are entirely optional. If you want, you can just go stand on the deck of the ship and avoid the occasional shots that these dragons will fire at you if you don't shoot them down. The 3rd phase of Duck Hunt is not optional, which nobody realized until a couple of us decided to not do it for fun in a marathon together, and spent about 3 minutes here before realizing, wait a minute, something's wrong. We are really good at finding things on site and on marathons. And in fact, in the very next stage of the game, while we were practicing last night, doing some commentary work, I discovered a new soft lock. And let me tell you, there's nothing better than finding a new soft lock for your game on site the night before a marathon run. But yeah, this is the final phase of Duck Hunt with the 5-star dragon. We just have to make it flee once, and then the phase moves on a timer. But you know, it's fun to continue just taking shots at it. Nothing else to do for the minute or so it takes to move on.
Is there any real danger to you in this situation?
No, but like I said, the rest of the stage gets really dicey really fast. So I kind of enjoy the little bit of a reprieve you get here. So now that we're done with the Duck Hunt portion, we get probably the coolest premise for a stage in the entire game. The lead dragon freezes the clouds, and we engage in a crazy battle across the frozen cloudscape, which mostly consists of caves and Shiva, but I mean, it's a cool idea.
So is this like double ice physics then?
You know, surprisingly, no. The ice in this game is just normal terrain. Only Shiva is ice physics.
It is fitting, though, that the ice physics finally makes sense with the environment.
Mm.
So yeah, you can see the reason this is, you know, so scary is these enemies are like level 30. One of our party members is level 9, just for, you know, approximate reference. Come here. You want to clear out all the enemies you can with Shiva. Yeah, those Yetis are immune to Shiva, unfortunately, so we're going to have to switch to Jack. And then we're going to want to Strength Serum. That'll do. Strength Serum is going to give us the aura status effect, which doubles our damage. That Ice Punch attack they do is what we need to be afraid of. If that hits us, we get frozen. And if we get frozen against the Sasquatch, we die. And you know, if Jack dies, bad things happen. Luckily, wasn't too much trouble. Want to switch back to Cadet whenever we can, just because she is faster than Jack and most of the other characters in the game, actually. Oh, that's bad. All right, we're gonna have to do this. Yeah, unfortunately, this guy either goes down immediately or has the potential to instantly kill a member of your party. And when he does the later, really bad things happen.
It can also inconveniently place itself in such a situation where it won't despawn, and you just sort of have to wait.
Yeah, that enemy is either like not a problem at all or the worst enemy in the game. So coming up here, we have a bit of an interesting segment, and it's something we talked about a little bit internally about, you know, how we wanted to handle it. First, I'm just as a backup going to go ahead and give Rim a new ability. It's called Undying Wish. And what it's going to do is it's going to give Rim the re-raise stat. Now hopefully we won't really need to use it too much, but if we need to, Rim can now basically infinitely summon Shiva. The way re-raise interacts with Eidolon summoning is because it can't immediately raise the character again, it'll wait until the Eidolon goes away. Oh, please don't die, Rim. That would be a disaster, but she didn't. We're fine. Because it can't raise the character while the Eidolon's out, it waits until the Eidolon times out, and then it re-raises the character. And because it waits, you know, we can just use Rem again to summon another Eidolon. Fairly handy. So we got a Behem Mash. You know, I'll be honest. I never looked into whether Behem Mashes show up in any other Final Fantasies as palette swaps of behemoths, but they're effectively just behemoth palette swaps. You know, the good old recolor them differently, make them work. So anyway, this portion of the game is interesting, to say the least. Basically, what we need to do is we need to run to 4 different major areas of this zone and save our cadets who are under attack by that dragon enemy we saw earlier. Or at least, that's what we should be doing. It only saves about 1.5 minutes to do that, and the potential for a character dying is unbelievably massive. Additionally, most of the enemies in this area are completely immune to Shiva, and we've lost Jack. So that means we're going to have a hard time killing them even if we want to. Not a great trade, but it happened. So what we're going to have to do is we're just going to sit here for 3 minutes and fail this part of the mission. But it's fine, because we'll get to continue on afterwards. So, you know, I thought we should do something fun to pass the time if this wound up happening. And I got to go with my favorite pastime. Matt, do you have any guess what that might be?
Prizes?
Wow, he's good. He's on point. There's a reason this man is my boss. It's because he gives me the paycheck. Anyway. Like Matt mentioned, I'm not a member of RPG Limit Break. I'm just a guy who loves RPGs and who loves prizes. And let me tell you, RPG Limit Break has a bunch of both. So right now during this run, if you guys donate a minimum of $5, you could win a pair of Ace and Deuce Pearlers from our good friend Red Sliver. Super cool Pearlers. I was amazed when I saw that someone had made Type-0 Pearlers. Like, I was fully expecting this game to go without any specific prizes. Super cool of them. You should definitely get your donations in. I'm sure you can find pictures of those on the RPG Limit Break tracker. Also, if you donate $100 cumulatively throughout the event, you can be entered into a chance to win a Nintendo Switch and a super awesome RPG bundle, and that's coming to you guys directly from the RPG Limit Break staff. Huge shout outs to them for putting such a great prize in. You get a Nintendo Switch, you get Octopath Traveler, you get Xenoblade 2, you get The World Ends With You, the Switch remake they did, and you get Let's Go Eevee. That's like all the RPGs on the Switch I want. And for once, I'm eligible to win prizes, so I might have to put $100 down before now. Normally, I'm not allowed to touch them, but this is a fun exception for me. Not used to it. We got another solid minute or so of just waiting for this area to let us go, Fant. So if you want to tell us about some donations or people who might be eligible to win some of those prizes, that'd be a great time.
Is he allowed to do that?
Well, we've got $5 from Shiro the Bread. Someone had to do it, so I might as well give an option. So that's it. $5 in is now eligible for those Pearlers that just talked about.
There we go. You should definitely get in on them.
So how is it staring at those boxes then?
You know, it's really not good. It fills me full of failure knowing that I need to do this.
The fire looks cozy, though, on the right there.
Yeah, it's a wonderful 2D fire texture. I really like, you know, the high resolution they went of like 5 pixels. You really can't blame this game's graphics too much. As a bit of a note, Final Fantasy Type-0 was actually originally a PSP game. I believe it was one of the earlier PSP games too. When I think about it, it was later then given an HD remaster. They updated some of the textures, but not all of them, obviously. Mostly just the character models. For a PS4 re-release, which also added the ability to skip the RTS segments. And then finally in 2015, they re-released the game on PC and included the speed up option, which, you know what, I'll take a moment to demonstrate. There's speed 1, we got speed 2, we got speed 3. Which are, you know, super great for speedrunning, frankly. I'm so glad they included those.
Yeah, it's speedrunning in the literal sense right there.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Does Samurai Jack time travel?
Yeah, he has to get back to the past where I didn't lose him to that dragon.
Oh, okay.
All right, and that finally does it. So yeah, normally you can rescue those cadets. Each rescue takes like 45 seconds or so. So, you know, it doesn't lose a ton of time at the end of the day. It just unfortunately looks a little silly. I'm going to make a safety save here because I've lost a lot of characters and the end of this chapter can be very brutal. So just in case. But now we finally have the boss against this dragon that's kind of been harassing us throughout the stage. So all we want to do here is hit the dragon's break site as it dives at you, and then you want to take out the rider. If you don't take out the rider, the dragon basically just keeps coming at you. And yeah, because I took that time and didn't use another character, I should have just enough characters to finish this off without a problem, as long as nobody else just kind of decides to wander into fire. And that is a scary prospect because the end of this level introduces the Dracoboltian enemies. They are like these weird mutated dragon creatures, and they are very notable for their instant kill attacks. They have several attacks that will just instantly kill any party member too close to them. Thankfully, they don't work on Eidolons, but the AI has a very bad habit of just kind of wandering into them. So I might play it a little safe here and just summon Shiva and wait out their respawns. Oh, there was the attack right there. Luckily, I was in the middle of the summoning animation, so it couldn't hit me. Normally what you'd do is you'd summon Shiva here, and then you'd actually immediately jump off of her so that you could start absorbing these enemies as they died. Shiva's AI, like I said, it really likes to use this, I'll demonstrate it right now, this attack here that just freezes enemies. It doesn't actually do anything in terms of damage. So she wastes time a lot, but for the most part, she'll get in a few good attacks here. I'd also like to point out these enemies in the background that have like 3 frames of animation. They're pretty cool. Went the wrong way around the circle.
Is there a wrong way around a circle?
Well, yeah, there's a shorter way around the circle. And there's also a way that's blocked off around the circle, so you know. Gotta make sure you go the right way.
That would make swinging it.
So now we have the Super Metroid escape sequence, basically. We got to run across this ground as the dragon above us strikes it with ice and lightning and breaks parts of it away. Unfortunately, because of the speed-up option, we're actually faster than the trigger that breaks the ground. So this section really makes no sense. Even though we are faster than the ground break trigger, the invisible walls are still there. So we can't run across any portion of the ground that's going to disappear later. Now we just need to kill a couple of Wingverns and a few more waves of the Dracoboltians, and then we are effectively done with the stage up to the boss. The boss of this stage is quite an interesting boss and has had a lot of revisions throughout the history of the run. And I'm proud to say that my one major accomplishment in the Type-0 community was coming up with the current strat we use to defeat it. But first, we're going to need to take out a few waves of these guys. Normally, again, we would jump off onto another character to harvest Phantoma and make the next wave spawn immediately. But because I am down to my last character, and this is a marathon run, I'm going to take the extra, 10 seconds every time to let them despawn naturally and ensure that nothing goes wrong here. So there's just going to be 2 more waves of these before we get to the interesting stuff. And if you have a quick blurb you want to read or anything you want to shout out?
Yeah, we have $10.24 from Leonia19, donating in memory of my childhood friend, Lena. 13 years may have passed since your death and 2 years since I learned it was suicide, but it still feels like yesterday when I last spoke to you in 2006. Leonia, thank you for your donation. Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for donating to Nami.
Thank you very much, Leona. It's a hard donation to make.
We have $2.50 from K-Dog Deluxe. Thank you so much. We have $5 from Barbados.
Oh. When'd you sneak that one in?
Oh, our nice little waiting section.
Well, one of you two figure it out, but wait 1 second, because we have a very difficult boss fight coming up. So we need to defeat Shinryu Celestia, the Lord of the Dragons of the Seiryu Nation. Now, all we need to do is we need to get our spear out and wait for the dragon to fire its lightning balls at us, which will kill us. That is a very important step in this strategy. Very important. Because, as it turns out, when you pick on Class 0, you anger their mom. And one thing I've learned over the years is you never anger the mom, especially when it's possible they're just a bored goddess trying to kill time for a couple eons. So she's going to let us summon Bahamut Zero and engage in a Godzilla-style kaiju smackdown with this dragon. Now, before it was debated whether it was faster or not to use Shiva and attack the dragon's breakpoints repeatedly, instead of waiting through this cutscene and then the ensuing back and forth kind of smack fest between the two giant monsters. But I found a rather interesting manipulation strategy that's going to let us get off a Giga Flare right at the start of the fight and basically end it before it's begun. You ready for the manipulation, chat? I'm going to show you all how to do it. And then you're going to be able to go to work tomorrow and you're going to tell someone, hey, I was watching RPG Limit Break over the weekend and I learned how to do a boss manipulation in Final Fantasy Type-0. And they're going to be like, what? What game is that? Please stop talking to me. And that's when you're going to tell them what RPG Limit Break is, because word of mouth is great advertising. Anyway, the strat there is as simple as you just don't hold the controller. You do nothing. You don't target it. You don't look at it. You just start charging Giga Flare, and for whatever reason, he won't attack for like 30 seconds. And that's enough time to charge it up and instantly deplete his health bar. Then we just charge up the Terra Flare, and hey, that's the boss finished off in the most anime way possible.
This Terra Flare is awesome.
Did you hit his weak point for maximum damage?
No, we only hit for like 18,000, unfortunately. If you do play New Game Plus, you can hit this boss for just like repeated instances of 99999. I don't know why you would, but I mean, you know, hey, well, I'm not going to tell you what to do. If you want to do that, be my guest. So we got a couple of minutes of just walking around and not participating in RTS-style missions. So now's a great time to maybe talk about the charity or read some more donations, fan, whatever you feel is appropriate.
We have $100 from Andrew220. No comment, but thank you so much.
Getting in on that Switch. It's a good call.
I never got to read Barbados' comment, but he said, go Cent, go Nami, go RPG Limit Break.
Agreed.
All good things.
We have another $25 from Leonia19. Let's go break last year's amount.
Come on. There we go.
And we have $5 from Linnacy. Hi Cent, Barbados, and friends. As someone who ran this game on PSP on New Game Plus, PSP is suffering. Shoutouts to the room. PC can skip because of the X3 speed modifier. That Cent has been gracefully showing off this whole run.
Thank you, Lena. It's good to hear from you. Glad you're enjoying it. Lena is, like she mentioned, another one of the great runners of this game, and I think the only runner who's ever done a full PSP version run. Man, you don't want to do a PSP version run.
And lastly, wait a minute. That Bahamut isn't a cheapy mutt.
It should be, though.
Be kind of cute. We have $10 from Angel. Cent, please. You need to stop pushing prizes. This isn't GDQ.
Thank you, Angel. Shoutouts to Angel, who is a photographer at GDQ with us. Wonderful guy. Oh, whoops. Trying to get out a new party member, accidentally fat-fingered the change. So this stage really is just going to be a lot of summoning Shiva and taking care of the mechs. It's the last major stage in the game that we're allowed to use Eidolons in, and at this point the enemies are just so high level that even Jack struggles to deal with them most of the time. Didn't get that guy on the left. So most of the stage really does boil down to find the enemies that are marked with orange, take care of the enemies that are marked with orange, move on to the next screen, do the same thing. It's almost like this stage is a battle. It's a battle on a large rectangular object that allows ships to pass under it. Don't think that's ever been done in a Final Fantasy game before, so I really have to applaud Type-0's originality.
Remember, don't go too fast.
Yeah, you know what? In fact, I'm going to slow Shiva down here to 1x speed because the soft lock we discovered yesterday was that if Shiva is moving at full speed when you enter this zone, she can fly off the bridge and get stuck in midair. At which point you're just kind of stuck because you can't hit the enemies from where you are, and the bridge won't come back down until all the enemies are defeated. Another cool trick, and another runner to shout out, is Felvisage, who's a good friend who actually got me into this game. He learned that Shiva's other move that we haven't really used, Diamond Dust, which shoots out a little projectile and can be chained repeatedly as long as you hit the action time command for it. actually lets Shiva be extended past her summon timer. As long as you're doing Diamond Dust, Shiva won't despawn. So what that means is, for this segment, if you really wanted to, you could have Shiva just do Diamond Dust from now until the last enemy you need to kill spawns, and kill it with Shiva to not risk Jack or any of your other major characters to do so. Frankly, the timing, I won't lie, is not super free, and I don't find it too difficult to win this fight with Jack, but it's a cool little note.
Speaking of high level, do you want to explain what the new game plus whatever is like?
Sure, so this game has a couple different difficulties. We play on Cadet because, like I mentioned earlier, it makes the mana costs for everything massively lower than other difficulties, which means we can use spells, and as you've seen, spells are pretty good in this game. There's Officer difficulty, which is kind of like the equivalent of normal. There is Agito difficulty, which is all enemies gain 30 levels off the bat, which is pretty hard to play in New Game, but is theoretically possible to do. And then there's the final difficulty, Finis, which gives all enemies 70 levels from the start of the game, and you're only allowed to bring one character into every mission. We discovered a way to potentially speedrun that as a New Game category, but nobody wants to do it. So... so this segment is a little bit scary. Oh god, they're actually spread out quite a bit. What's happening here is that we need to kill a bunch of waves of enemies and then defeat the enemy leader, all before Shiva times out. And you have about 5 seconds to spare. Although if you defeat the last enemy as Shiva times out, you're fine. The enemies spread out a lot there, and it would be really bad, frankly, if that happened. But I think we're fine. After you get the first wave, it's just all on a timer. So yeah, we just have 30 seconds to smack enemies here. Fant, if you want to read a quick one.
We do have $100 from Uncle Steve. Nice job sent. Why you know right? Smiley face.
I think that might actually be my Uncle Steve. If so, I feel really bad. Hi, Steve.
It's actually a winky face. My mistake.
All right, we're good in time. We got the enemy mech. Shiva might despawn before he does, but it's fine either way. Yep, we're good. No worries. Was never in danger, even though I was in danger. All right, so now we need to destroy the enemy's Magitech jammer, which for some reason doesn't jam our magic, probably because our magic is powered by a really bored goddess. But that doesn't matter. What matters is we have Shiva, and it's already gone. Good boss fight, everyone. We did it. Cool thing, Shiva can, for whatever reason, arrest these soldiers. I don't know how that works. I don't really want to think about how that works, but we can get some first aid kits from them. And now that we've defeated the enemies behind us and destroyed the jammer, we can move on to the final section of this big bridge battle, which is destroying the enemy's Magitech facility. Which, if you haven't guessed yet, is going to involve a lot of summoning Shiva. It's kind of my MO. I don't have other tricks. I'm sorry. Also, sometimes you'll notice the first couple of seconds of a cutscene plays. That's just because this game really wants you to watch the first few seconds of every cutscene sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. So now if I've done this right, this Helldiver should just dive forward at me. Oh, he's going to shoot missiles instead. Okay. But that's the reason we don't run into the room there before summoning Shiva, is if you get that guy to just dive at you, you're good. And then there's just one random dog that spawns here. Good job, random dog. Oh man, that dog probably lived longer than a majority of the bosses we fought. Good job, dog. I appreciate him. So this is another room that is just kind of auto-scrollery in nature. We're going to need to destroy these 2 flying Helldiver mechs at the start, and we're just going to have to wait about 40 seconds for the next pair of Helldiver mechs to spawn. Funny thing to mention is this is actually one of the few rooms in the game where the PSP version is faster. In a lot of the rooms in this, what the game intends you to do is to kind of slowly slog it out with the enemies, and then at the very end of the room, you'll get the support attacks, which will let you fire some artillery bursts in that do, maximum damage and just let you clear whatever is causing you problems. The PSP version of the game includes a strange glitch where you can activate the support attacks early. And in this room, and only this room, you can destroy a certain environmental object, and the barriers blocking the room's exit will just disappear. Unfortunately, the PSP version is several hours slower, both due to load times and the aforementioned RTS sections. But hey, it's just a cool thing to note.
We have $5 from DevilDog357. I'm really excited for this year's RPG Limit Break. As a veteran who suffers from PTSD and depression, I applaud everyone's effort to help this wonderful cause. Thank you all so much. And also, $5 because Sense said so, and because prizes.
It's a dangerous power that I have. I must not abuse it. Thank you very much for that donation. We got a solid 20 more seconds of this fan if you got another one for us.
Of course, we have $15 from Larry. Team Chibimet loves you. RPG Limit Break. Thank you thank you for everything you do, and bless Nami for everything they do for mental health. I'd like to give a quick update for Adventures of Mana, heroine name. Chibimet is currently in the lead with $25. Second place is Anime with $5. Finally in third place, Her with $2.50. So if you'd like to change it, get your donations in.
I mean, as much as I love anime, Chibimet's a pretty good name. But anime is real. I just want to... I know this isn't an Undertale run, but I just wanted to get that out there now ahead of time. All right, so we are in the, thankfully, final section. This stage, like the... sorry, I'm losing my mind for a second here. But much like one of the earlier stages we did, in a speedrun, you actually wouldn't take the full amount of characters. In this stage, you take one less than the maximum possible, because you only need that many characters. I brought all of the characters because, again, it's a marathon run. You got to play it a little safer. Nothing wrong with that. But as a result, I am going to have to kill off Rem at the very end of the game here. I'm waiting by the wrong elevator.
Well, I mean...
Thankfully, it doesn't actually matter because the next elevator starts coming up as soon as the last one stops. So it doesn't lose any time, just makes me look silly for not remembering what elevator is what. Much like the current hotel we're in, I can't find my way anywhere. What's more concerning is my room's on the first floor, so the fact that I'm getting in them in the first place is a problem. Also, shoutouts to these empty elevators. They're just empty. Until they're not. Don't worry about the chatter that's going on in the background. Everyone's fine. Everyone's perfectly fine. They're ifrits falling out of the sky like it's raining cats and dogs. Everything's fine. And of course, this is a battle on the big bridge. Who else but Gilgamesh? So the Gilgamesh fight is actually pretty technical. What we need to do is let him punch us in the face. Well, that didn't kill us. Come on, Gilgamesh. You're better than that.
Is that Nightmare?
Close enough, Matt. So it doesn't actually matter if you win or lose to Gilgamesh here. You get the same cutscene either way, and you don't actually get anything for beating him unless you take on the Secret Order. So there's really no reason to do that fight. We'll actually be fighting against him again much later in the run, but, hey, we'll get to that bridge when we come to it.
We have $5 from Augendrocker. I heard that with a $5 minimum donation, I will be entered for a chance to win the Ace and Deuce Perler prize. And now I only need to donate another $95 through the course of the week for a chance at that grand prize. Good luck, Sent, and great job by all the people that made this week possible.
That man has it exactly right, guys. $5 during this run, and potentially further out. I'm not sure. You're going to need to head over to the tracker and check the exact availability of that prize. I just smacked my microphone trying to scratch my side. You're going to need to check the availability on that, but $5 definitely during this run going to get you in for a chance to win the Ace and Deuce Perlers, and then $100 cumulatively throughout the event is going to get you in for the chance to win that Nintendo Switch with all of those amazing RPG games. It's a super great deal. It's a super great charity. You got to get in on it, guys. We're not going to get in on this sortie mission, though, because we don't like RTS elements. This is not RTS Limit Break. This is RPG Limit Break. So we're skipping those sections.
And thankfully, that's the last one.
Sad face Kupo.
Was that an impression of the English version of Kupo?
It was fairly accurate, frankly, whether he intended for it to be or not.
Kupo.
All right, so we're about to enter the final mission given to us by command. We need to go track down General Kator Bashtar, who we fought earlier in that weird mech, and we need to take him down because he is the leader of the White Tiger Nation. The Blue Dragon Nation lost off screen. I think they actually lose during the sortie mission we skip, but yeah, we don't have to worry about them anymore. They're done.
Sorry, did you say Blue Eyes White Dragon?
Yes. Kaiba has been defeated, everyone. Egypt is safe. So Machina has once again left the party. If you didn't realize he rejoined the party, don't worry about it. It really doesn't matter, and neither does he.
Dang.
I don't like Machina. I'm just making that clear. No. There we go. So I'm taking a full squad of 3 people, even though you only need 1, just for a little bit of safety. It's possible to die before you can summon Shiva in this fight, because Kator has actually gained a ridiculous speed upgrade from the last time we fought him. I think he got the HD update and turned on ×3 speed mode. Enemies shouldn't be able to do that. Not a fan. This fight can be done in as fast as about 18 seconds, but it is incredibly dependent on how much he wants to play with you. As you can see, he just moves around very quickly and, frankly, frequently just moves around too far for you to actually hurt him. However, it looks like he's going to play really nice. Nope, he stopped playing nice. Yeah, this is generally what the fight looks more like. You kind of just spin around in circles with him until one of you dies, and usually it's him. 38 seconds is actually not a terrible time, though. The game actually has a fairly accurate in-game timer, although we don't do in-game time because it doesn't time the sections between the missions. But, I mean, if you ever wanted to run ILs for some reason, it'd be really good for that. So you're coming up here, you know, we defeated the boss of the White Tiger Nation. The Blue Dragons aren't a problem. We never even saw the Black Turtles, so I guess we've won. I mean, I guess that's pretty much it. There's probably nothing more to do but go home and have a celebration. Fant, you want to read some stuff off while we take the long chocobo walk?
Of course. We have $5 from the Orphe. Handsome fella, don't die or anything. We have $25 from Madeline. Hi, Sent. This is your lovely cousin. Don't really know what's happening, but maybe if I watch and donate, you'll remember to call me every once in a while. Proud of you.
Oh, I'm getting guilt-tripped by the family all over. Hey, Maddie. Glad you and Steve are watching. Now, you see, originally I was going to wait until the end of the marathon and then give them an embarrassing shout-out, but they've beaten me to it. The spirit of speedrunning is strong in my family, apparently. We got plenty more to walk, Fant, so if you got more to read, by all means, keep going.
Well, we have $5 from RPD234. The realness of anime is not up for debate. Also $5 for Survivor Doggo. And with that, we have a new leader for the Adventures of Mana heroine name. That's Paraball with $50. Couch is in second place, close behind at $49. And of course, Chibimut in third place with $25.
Wait, Saint, go back. I forgot my wallet.
I will turn this chocobo around, Matt.
And we have $50 from Murdoch. Good luck, and to quote Keishura, Paraball. My voice doesn't go that high, but I gave it my best shot.
It was a good attempt, Fant. I appreciated it.
Paraball. Wait. That's as good as I can do.
It was not a good attempt, Matt. I appreciated it.
I'll stick with Kupo.
So yeah, now Rim's out of the party for the rest of the game, as is Machina, and there are these horrific abominations walking around, and exposition dump, because this is where they ran out of money.
And it's raining blood. So story-wise, in order to stop the war, the academia summoned an Eidolon, which would be Alexander, which is that cutscene is really cool. But in order to summon him, they had to sacrifice half of the entire school.
Yeah, I don't know if we've mentioned it before, but canonically in the Type-0 universe, or its version of the 13 universe, if you will, to actually summon Eidolons, you have to give them the life force they need to exist. So summoners, get one shot at it. And we summoned a primal Eidolon to end the war, which took like 500 people to summon. I think we're the good guys. I hope we're the good guys. I mean, we're the winners. But now it's we got a lot of walking back and forth and plot exposition. As much as I do love the game, and I think the story is interesting, and I think it's worth playing overall, I will say it's one of those games you can kind of tell that either the budget or the development time or something ran out in the 11th hour, and they just kind of started to make stuff up and fill in the last chapter of the game with a bunch of expositionary text instead of actually showing you things that happened. Like, for instance, Sid, who's the main villain of this story, who we haven't seen much of this game, dies off screen and becomes the arbiter of humanity. Don't worry about it. It happened off screen. We got like a 2-minute slideshow about it. It's fine. So all these cutscenes that we're going back and forth are basically Class 0 deciding what they should do now, and eventually they resolve that, we are the good guys at the end of the day, and we're going to save the world by defeating Sid, even if he's become some kind of horrific god and everyone's dying.
That must have been a hard moral call for them.
It was, frankly. It was that or go get pizza, and, honestly, I think I'd choose the pizza right now.
Well, while you guys go around and discover your inner sense of morality, we got a couple donations here.
Yeah, go for it.
We have $100 from Set Zeromus. Hey all, wanted to make it to the event this year, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I could not make it this year. But I am here in spirit. Shoutouts to my Twitch faves, too many to list, but they all know who they are. $51 goes to naming the hero of Adventure of Mana, Set Zero, and $49 goes to naming the heroine, Couch, because I ship it. Thank you for all supporting such a great and important cause. 150K hype and beyond. And we have $5 from Kotako. Love from France. And $30 from Slowpoke. Can you slow down a bit? I can't catch up. Slowest greetings, Slowpoke.
You can keep going, fam. We got a little bit of back and forth talking with Sid, who is now a giant floating flaming eyeball. Don't worry about it.
Is he voiced by the English Kupo?
Maybe.
Kupo.
We have $26 from Cinder, doing this for Bowie, and another $26 from Larry, Team Chibimut does not accept your ridiculous name. So those two combined, well, until just now, had Chibimut in the lead on Adventures of Mana Heroine name. But now Slowpoke has taken the lead with $80. Chibimut in second place with 77, and Couch in third with 74. So pretty tight race there. Could be anyone's.
So in this stage, secret orders have been replaced with Sid's Crucible, which is a weird replacement. Oops, I accidentally blocked, which is why I couldn't do the triple attack. That's what was wrong. They're like secret orders, but they're mandatory. We're gonna have to complete a bunch of them to prove to Sid that humanity is worth existing. He also introduces a new enemy type, the Rurus, and all of the enemies in this stage are scaled to the level of the lowest party member you have. So despite Cadet being level 21, these enemies are level 2, which is super helpful. Also funny to mention is that these enemies apply kill sight to you, like you apply to enemies or can have applied to enemies, where, you know, if they hit you, you'll get kill sight, and if you get hit again within a few seconds, regardless of the damage or health you have, you'll die. It's a really cool idea for an enemy. The problem is the Ruruses aren't actually fast enough to hit you twice before the debuff wears off, so I'm not entirely sure what the point of it is. So in this room, we just need to survive for 2 minutes. It's a great time to read things. These enemies will infinitely respawn if we get rid of them, or if we, you know, harvest on them, they'll respawn slightly slower. So, Fan, I'm gonna blow these guys away, and I want you to start talking.
We've got a good battle going for the Adventures of Mana Heroine name. Another $50 from Set Zero Miss. 25 more each to pair me with Couch. Ship it. Love you, buddy. I hope the whole fam is enjoying the marathon. That Slowpoke. Oh, wait, hang on. Just got an update. Man, this thing is it's going crazy. We got $5 again from Linnacy for Bowie the Hero for Chibimut. And that puts Chibimut back in the lead by $2, overtaking Slowpoke at 80.
This mana war is heated.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And $15 from Locks. Just do it.
We're gonna make our dreams come true. That's what we're doing here.
And Set Zero Miss in with another $50. With that, Couch is now in the lead for the Adventures of Mana Heroine name, and the hero name is still at Set Zero. Wow.
I'm waiting to hear how quickly Slowpoke has fired back. It's very uncharacteristic of them. They're very quick on the draw about it.
Good thing they implemented motion blur in this game because you wouldn't know where your character went.
This game the PSP version of this game absolutely needed motion blur, Matt. That game is indecipherable on screen. So this is kind of a weird trial. It was obviously designed with the default movement speed of the game in mind, but the objective is to run across this room before you get hit. Oh, I got across the room. Like, it spawns enemies, and there are things on the wall that shoot at you, but you can just kind of run through it really fast, and you're fine. In the past, we actually got a bunch more upgrades so we could handle that better, but he really doesn't need them because we just run through. We're good. And this is probably the most annoying trial coming up. What we need to do is we need to shoot all the candles on the wall to light them before we kill the Rurus in the center of the room. The issue is there's a bunch of other targetable objects in the room, and this game, I never really talked about the targeting system. You have a button that lets you target things, and then you can cycle left and cycle right, and that's about it. So right now, when I want to target this last candle, the game just would rather have me spin in circles forever. Like, nope, there we go. We did it. Hardest candle to shoot in the game. Also the only candle to shoot in the game, but still the hardest. Oh no. Okay, so another problem with the max speed is that it's entirely possible to go through the gate so fast that the game doesn't recognize you finished the objective. Thankfully, in this room, the candles stay lit, so I just need to wait like half a second until Cadet starts talking, and then we're good. Silly mistake to make, but it just, another side effect of moving a little bit faster than intended.
Just a little.
Just a little. Now, if I get this right, no, I didn't get the grenade out. So if I had gotten that right, I would have hit a kill site on this Iron Giant right as he spawned, and that would prevent him from doing this invincible phase where he just kind of throws a temper tantrum and walks around. Wastes a solid, 15 seconds, unfortunately, if you don't get it, but not a huge deal. Okay, here's the most important decision of the run. Do not become l'Cie. The game really wants you to become l'Cie. It doesn't let you move off of the option for a solid 10 seconds. If you become l'Cie, you get the bad ending, and there is nothing you can do about it. It would be, I don't think it's ever happened to anyone in a serious run or a marathon, but it would be an amazing first, frankly.
You want those directions?
Just confirm for me that they are a northeast, west, east, north, south.
Correct.
Okay, we're good. So yeah, this area is a maze, but it's not just a maze. You need to hit a certain number of souls as you traverse the maze. So we're going to do that by going in a very specific set of directions I just laid out there, northeast, west, east, north, south, which will give us exactly the number of kills we need by the end of it. And we get to beat up a Tonberry. Shoutouts to the 3 Tonberries in this game.
Why was that Tonberry level 2?
Because all the enemies in this final dungeon scale based on the level of the lowest party member you have. And I have intentionally kept one of my party members at level 8. So all the enemies are really easy. All right, this should be east and then north-south. Messing up the maze isn't too bad. You just have to do a couple of extra rooms, and there's some treasure. It's not very good treasure, but it's treasure. I'm putting Jack's weapon away every time I attack because Jack is the slowest character in the game with his weapon out. Although his dodging is actually fairly fast. So yeah, this should finish it off. Okay, good. And if you get to this room and you don't have enough, the game will be like, you got to go back and make you do the maze again. I'm actually not even sure there's a way to get to this room without having enough, though, so... Anyway, now we need to split up the party again. So while I'm doing that, Fant, you want to go ahead with a quick one?
Yeah, we got $75 from Slowpoke again. I want her name Slowpoke, and Slowpoke once again has taken over the lead for the Adventures of Mana heroine name at $155. Second place being The Couch at $124, and third place Chibi Mud at $82.
Come on, guys, don't let Couch lose this.
I'm rooting for Chibi Mutt right now. We got a rivalry building right here. All right, so this set of trials is particularly annoying. Oh, wow, the AI actually helped me. So in this first room, you're not allowed to use physical attacks, and all of the enemies are obnoxious flying monsters. Thankfully, I bring a bunch of ranged party members so that they can, maybe shoot them down. They usually don't. They usually don't do anything useful, but it looks like today they actually did, so, I mean, good on them. And it's very likely, just use a Mega Ether. Cadet unfortunately doesn't have the most MP out of the characters in our party, so need to refill it. Frustratingly, the button for basic attacking and the button for harvesting downed enemies is the same button, so it's entirely possible for you to kill an enemy and then press the button to harvest them like a second too early, and then fail that room, and that's a bad time, let me tell you. So this is one of my favorite trials compared to the last one. This is the room I like to call the MMO DPS room because there's lots of stupid here to stand in, and people really like to stand in the stupid. I'm not a salty healer or anything, leave me alone.
But 100%. The pretty colors.
Stand in the fire, DPS go higher. That's how it works. So I've been told. We wanted to make sure we had a queen and 6 here because these slime enemies are really weak to lightning and basically nothing else. So if you don't have either of them, it can become fairly hard to kill them. Do we have... All right, I'm mega elixir for this. I apparently have no ether drops this run, which is weird, but yeah, well. All right, so we just did the trial of no using physical attacks. Now, of course, to complement that, we have to do the trial of no using magical attacks. And thankfully, in one of the HD remakes, I'm actually not sure if it's the PC remake or the PS4 remake, they massively buffed the ranged characters, Cadet and Trey. Before, apparently, they were fairly useless in the grand scheme of things. And it's good that they did, because this room is just impossible as a melee character. You have to fight a bunch of bombs that just dance around the entire arena and just don't want to play with you. Although they will self-destruct if you let them. Which is sometimes the optimal way to deal with them, just because they really don't want to die sometimes. You also have to deal with a couple of these Reavers. Something I haven't mentioned about the Reavers is if you don't absorb them, they just pop back up to life, which I haven't mentioned. It's been shown a couple of times, though. That was actually a pretty quick trial. The room can be in one of, I think, 3 different spots to start, but it doesn't really make a huge difference unless the enemies are super uncooperative. All right, now, so again, like one side is full of really obnoxious trials. This side's just full of like carnival rides. In this one, we have to stop the merry-go-round in the right spot. Which of course we do by casting ice on these magical pillars. That's how merry-go-rounds work.
They always just told me they were out of service.
No, that's the ice cream machine.
Oh, okay.
Now, ideally, we want these guys to knock us down, or we want to build kill sites on them. Either or. We do want all of our party members to be dead by the end of this stage, but we also really want a fully built-up attack right now. So I'll take the fully built-up attack because it wasn't ready. Oh, and they even killed the queen off in the background. Excellent. This is so like ironically, for most of the run, we're super worried about our party dying in inconvenient spots because the AI is really bad and often dies. In this stage, we actually really want our party to die, and unfortunately the enemies are really low level, and their AI is so bad that they can't land killing blows. Such is the irony of speedrunning. So real quick, we change our party. And we have to head through the 4 rooms of remembrance as we move to different areas we've been in the game and refight things that you probably would fight if you played this game like a normal human being. We didn't do any of them, though. So yeah, Sid now upgrades the Rursons because they were clearly very ineffective. They're now just as ineffective, but they have a cool face on them. So I approve of that upgrade, frankly.
So you're supposed to remember people you never met.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Like, Sid is, kind of taunting you with, like, you're the reason these people died, even though you can't remember who they are, so you're just like, oh, okay. Like, I guess. I mean, you're very clearly a villain. I'm not sure why I'm listening to you. So I'm going to play it safe here and just take care of these guys with Catter. You can run in with Jack, but the terrain here isn't terribly conducive to that. There's a lot of invisible walls that can block you. Thankfully, the Versons, because they're level 2, do no base damage. The only threat is the poison that's in this room, that's slowly ticking your health down, which thankfully can't kill you, and the fact that they can put kill sight on you. I actually really need to conserve Cater's MP for the last trial, so I'm going to do this section as Jack. I have no idea what that was, Jack. None of us do. The story is very confusing.
Got a quick $1 donation from Doc Coburn. The title of this game is misspelled. There's typo in it.
We just got to give that a collective groan. So because I didn't get any ether drops and chose not to buy ethers and wound up having to use my mega elixir, we might have to do some interesting strats to defeat Gilgamesh here for real this time. But we'll be able to make it work. All right, we need to do White Tiger first. The White Tiger challenge is actually kind of an interesting twist. So you have to fight the same Roshuns that you've been fighting this entire time, but now they're invisible. You can still lock onto them, and they still have floating text where their names are. So
You can still kill sight them.
yeah, I mean, it's not like the best upgrade, but I got to give Sid props for at least trying something interesting.
Flexing his power.
All right, so now we have to fight not only one, but two of these guys. They really aren't capable of doing too much to us, but they can be very annoying and just fly out of range constantly. Thankfully, they actually didn't, and they played along really well. All right, so now we are coming up on the final trial here. I'm going to want to switch my party to only be my main character because having more than one character is going to mess up the manipulation I want to do here. Now the strategy for this Gilgamesh fight is pretty simple. Step 1, Gilgamesh runs at you. Step 2, you hit him with a blizzard. Step 3, you hit a lot of break sights. All right, now I'm out of that. Do I have anything that restores MP? Nope. Okay, well, this is going to get interesting then. So what you can do is you can instead use a ranged attack on him when he's running up, but the timing is a little awkward. There we go, I got it. There are also some other characters who have Blizzard Bomb at this point in the game who can handle this just about as easily. One of the big fears of it though is those random cannon shots you see that are happening, because when those hit you, you get knocked down, and that's going to mess up your shots if you're trying to hurt him. It's going to mess up your blizzard if you're charging it up. All right, yeah, that was a fine Gilgamesh fight. Not exactly how I wanted to show it off, but it worked. That's all that matters. Hey, I got some applause. It's really not hard. That's not worthy of applause.
I don't know, it looked like a nightmare to me.
You're not supposed to tell them that, son.
All right, so with all 4 of the trials done, we can finally move towards the final boss, and I'm going to be honest here. We got about 5 minutes of walking to get to him, so I mean, Fan, if you want to read a little bit, I got some shout-outs to do, but I you know, by all means, go first.
Well, yeah, first we have $500 from Anonymous.
Oh, wow.
Love Final Fantasy Type-0 HD and love RPG Limit Break. Good luck to all the runners. Donation goes half to runner's choice and half to announcer's choice. That's me.
Was
We
there
have-
something special about the run speed here?
Yeah, so basically, in the PlayStation version and PSP version, you need to get a bunch of different characters the slipstream upgrade, so they can dodge through the shots that are trying to push you back down the tower. But we have 3 times move speed, so we just run through it, and we don't care. So earlier when I said that all the characters have 3 different move speeds, I lied. Every character has 4 different move speeds, and one is only used for this section where you're stumbling through this hallway. That's dedication and pointlessness. Oh yeah, and there's Maki and Rem. They're crystal now. Don't worry about it. They'll be fine, probably.
They're just sleeping.
We have $1 from Bakuman84. Hey, Cent, where's the prizes?
I already covered them. Come on.
Also, good luck. I
Gotta-
guess everybody wants to see them again.
Hey, you got to pay attention, man. Well, you know what? I got some time while I stumble down this hallway. And let's see if I can do this one-handed while I look them up real quick. Yeah, just
Wow, one-handed run.
yeah. No, this is now a challenge run. I'm doing this one-handed.
Yeah, I thought you were joking about walking down here since you've been running at light speed the entire run, but you weren't kidding.
No, you just kind of got to stumble around. So yeah, I mean, from our good friend Red Sliver, we have an Ace Deuce Perler, $5 minimum donation. Get in on that. I'm again super surprised that anyone donated anything related to Type-0. I'm probably gonna drop $5 really quickly on my phone while I'm walking down this hallway, so I have a chance to win those. And of course, $100 cumulatively throughout the marathon gets you into a chance to win an incredible Nintendo Switch bundle that includes Xenoblade 2, The World Ends With You, Let's Go Eevee, and Octopath Traveler. Super cool. All great RPGs exclusive to the Switch. Anyway, we're finally almost through this door. We're almost there. One eternity later. So we can fight the final boss. Unfortunately, the first form of the final boss is undefeatable. Mostly because we're just kind of limping around, and he is a level 99 god. So we just kind of have to let him take care of us. Hopefully he uses his AoE attacks and doesn't use his grab, but we'll see as the fight progresses. So while this is happening, I wanted to just give some shout-outs to the community. Huge shout-outs to Koinu and Lena for being amazing people to race with and hang out with. You guys are awesome. Huge shout-outs to Felt Visage for getting me into the game. Really glad I got into it. It's a lot of fun. I recommend you guys get into it on it too. If you join the official Final Fantasy Discord, all the information you need to run is available there. And of course, I wanted to give a massive shout out to everyone on staff volunteering and working behind the scenes at RPG Limit Break for letting us have this run in the marathon. Guys, it's something that's not always immediately apparent, but marathons like this don't just pop out of thin air. And as my couch can probably attest, there's a ton of work that goes in between events and behind the scenes to make this kind of thing possible. So I mean, huge shout outs to you guys. Please give yourselves a round of applause.
Thank you, guys.
And yeah, the only real note of strategy here is that characters who have lightning and fire equipped can actually bounce their attacks off the boss's shield in order to hit themselves and speed this up a little bit. Apparently, King just dodged everything with the power of his mullet. So great job, King. There we go. You're going to get command grab, and that's going to end it. Now, the real final boss can begin on any of your 12 remaining characters, and there are 2 that are particularly bad, Sync and Deuce. I got Deuce in my practice run right before I did this, so I'm really hoping I don't get the double Deuce. It might happen, though. And if it does, we're kind of going to be in an awkward spot. I just either have to wait for his Reflect to drop or for him to do a very specific attack. Okay, we got 7. 7's an interesting one, but I can make her work. So in this final phase, we need to hit Sid's Break Sight and then harvest one of his 12 Phantoma. And we'll repeat that 11 times and then follow it up with a final attack. There we go. So there is actually a good bit of strategy here with the order you want to do the characters in. At the start, Sid has a lot of different attack options and a lot of different moves, and he has Reflect up after every fight. You see it put him up right there. So you can't use magic against him. So you're going to want to start off by using characters that have ranged attacks, as I have King just eat that attack to the face. because that's going to let him dodge to the side and get easy, quick hits off on the boss. So you're going to want to start with characters like King, with Trey. Trey's our archer, by the way. Unfortunately, we routed out his screen time. He used to be incredibly integral to the run, but now he at least gets his 3 seconds to say hi here and shoot an arrow at Sid. Look at how fast he can sidewalk. That's impressive. I only have 1 speed, and it's Scent. Scent is not a fast speed.
This guy must have practiced in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, his backwalking is on point. Got to give him that. All right, so now we're going to bring out Ace. Same principle. Ranged attack makes it a lot easier to hit the early break site. And Cadet will be our last ranged character to wrap it up. And after this, we should only have 6 characters left, so Sid will like slump over, and he stops using most of his attacks, making it a lot easier to hit him with the slower melee characters on the list. So there is kind of a debate on how we should finish the run. Jack is actually the faster character because he can skip a cycle by dealing enough damage to the boss between attacks to get through him. But on the other hand, there's just something poetic and amazing about defeating the Arbiter of Mankind and God of Destruction with a bard's flute. And it also helps that Deuce's Japanese voice is done by Kana Hanazawa, who is quite literally in everything. If you don't know who Kana Hanazawa is, watch more anime. Trust me, you'll see her show up. But I'll make that call when I get down to the last 2 characters here. From now until then, we're just going to smack some people, so be ready on time. And, Fan, if you want to read a donation or two, we got a minute.
Yeah, of course, we have $36 from Bahamut X. When I heard Couch's name for an incentive, I knew I had to help. That Couch is back in the lead for the Adventures of Mana Heroine name, but only by $5. Slowpoke's still really close behind at $155.
Shoutouts to Couch.
Shoutouts to the Couch.
It's a good couch.
Not the people on it, just the couch.
Yeah, it's a good couch. It really is.
And of course, shout-outs to Barbados and Cool Maddie for being here and being on my couch with me, and Fant for hosting this run. It's been super awesome having you guys back there supporting me. I've really appreciated it. You know, I think this crowd truly believes that anime is real, so we'll go with the true speed strats to end the run. Don't have to contest it here. And guys, Final Fantasy Type-0 is almost over. Just got to smack the Arbiter a few more times. But I wanted to let you guys know that even though my run's done, there is a whole week of amazing RPGs planned here at RPG Limit Break. It's my first time being at the event. I'm loving it so far. I'm looking forward to all the great games I'm going to watch. I hope you guys are going to stick around and watch a ton of cool stuff, too. It's going to be an awesome week. Super excited for it. Super excited to support Nami. And this should be the final hit if I did everything right. Bad damage rolls. Didn't get it. And with that, time. So again, thank you guys very much for having me. If you really enjoyed this run and thought it was an energetic and entertaining opener, then my name is Sent, and you can find me on the social media that's probably listed on screen. If you thought this was a really weird way to open the marathon and wondered who let this guy in, then my name's Vooligen. See you later.
Thanks once again to Sent for that awesome Final Fantasy Type-0 HD run. Really quick, we're going to run some ads for you, and we'll be back momentarily. All right, welcome back to RPG Limit Break 2019. I've been Fant, and coming up to relieve me as host is none other than Gunarm Dine, the pun master himself. But before that, we have Hobbs over at the interview area, and he's going to be talking to Cent about the run and potentially some prizes. Take it away.
Everybody. Again, my name is Jay Hobbs, and I am joined by Cent, Dragon Sentinel, Prize Man, the man of many beards. I mean, really just one, but like many different styles. How are you doing, Cent?
I'm doing, I was a little nervous going into the run, Hobbs, but it sounded like people enjoy it, so I'm doing it. I'm doing all right. How are you?
You killed it. I was loving it. I was watching from over here where I get my nice little comfy
the
setup
nice
and
seats
stuff.
here. Yeah,
Yeah.
living the good life.
But no, you did a great job. Thanks for kicking off the marathon and opening things up for us.
For sure. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, a few simple questions, probably just mostly memes and stuff. But
That's what we do.
Right, of course. What drew you to Type-0?
So, there's actually an annual event run by another mutual friend of ours, Golden, called the 12-Hour Challenge, where the idea is over the course of 12 hours, you're going to learn a speed run. And you can do whatever you want over those 12 hours as long at the end of it,
Great event.
you get a speed run. Absolutely
Yeah.
amazing event. I've been participating in it for years. And one year I said, you know what? I want to learn an obscure Final Fantasy game.
Right.
Type-0. That's like the most obscure Final Fantasy. 0 is the amount of speed runs it has.
I loved your joke at the beginning. It's named after the number of people who played it. All right.
So yeah, one year I was just like, I'm going to do Type-0, and then actually after that, it led me into doing Final Fantasy 13 and 13-3
wow.
Lightning Returns and a bunch of other really fun Final Fantasy games.
Seems like a great game, man. There's a lot of Final Fantasy games, I'd say, in the kind of like action RPG-esque area that don't get a lot of love sometimes from speedruns, and cool to see that get shown off.
For sure. I think there are just a lot of kind of newer Final Fantasies that maybe aren't the best games casually, but have really interesting speed tech or like really precise and dangerous runs. And I would say Type-0 falls into that category, in my opinion.
Awesome. Well, I did want to ask you too. What's it like coming here and knowing? Okay, so you just did your run.
Yep.
You're done. What's it like coming to a speedrun marathon and be done? Because most of the time, this guy is like, I work with him at the GDQs, and he is a wreck all week because he's got to do stuff every single day.
We've got Michael Yama and Cool Maddie behind you who are just laughing right now.
Oh yeah, I'd be asking them the same question. We should have just gotten them on the headset.
Yeah, we should have just grabbed them over. It's such a weird feeling to go to a speedrunning event, like do the opening run. I'm here all week, but I'm done. That was it for me.
You just get to chill.
Yeah, I'm gonna go sleep. I think. I'm not sure for the entire week. Maybe we'll see.
What other runs are jumping out at you for the rest of this week?
Oh, there are so many awesome runs that I really want to watch. I'm actually super excited for Odin Sphere Le Thracier. I actually wound up doing a little bit of the routing for that game back in the day, and it's come so far since then. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like. And my boy Bing Chang playing Quest GBC, The Journey of Brian, because that is the superior Quest game. I'm sorry, you Quest 64 fans. You don't know what you're missing.
Yeah, all three of you out there. All right.
You wound me, Hobbs. You wound me so deeply.
I'm sorry. I gotta tell it like it is. Well, great, man. And I like what is your favorite moment in the Type-0 run? I guess because like surprisingly, some of my favorite moments in your commentary were when you were waiting around for 3 minutes and when you had to cartwheel down a hallway.
Well, that normally doesn't happen. Normally, that is a much more risky and interesting part of the run. But that game is actually kind of cursed in marathons. It's had a couple of online marathon appearances, a couple of appearances in the FF relays, and something always has gone wrong. So I was like, you know what? Let's play it safe and have fun with it. But favorite moment, probably the cutscenes, frankly, which are something you really don't get to see in the speedrun, but I really love the cutscenes in that game. It's actually got a really deep and interesting story as much as I try and play it off as wacky. And I highly recommend people pick it up. I think it's actually still on sale on Steam right now.
Well, cool. So why, give me one reason, like the Cliff Notes version, why should other people go and pick up the speedrun and learn it?
Because it's a really cool and underloved Final Fantasy game that has a lot of neat tech and on-the-fly routing.
Awesome. I love on-the-fly routing. That's the big selling point for me. And if you've ever loved randos or love watching them, there you go. That's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I could not let you go without making you show off some prizes for us. All right.
I mean, so. I already did a few. I might as well do some more.
So I'll talk about them, but we don't have everything here in front of us. But like you could see pictures of everything on the website rpglimitbreak.com. Click on that tracker link. But right here, this is the one of the two Xenoblade Chronicles. This is the art print for Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This was actually, is open from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 all the way through Odin Sphere. So that is a $10 minimum donation and donated to us by Arenia, I believe. I'm sorry, my eyesight's not super great.
I mean, it looks beautiful.
But I believe all of these are actually from the same donor, Arenia. Thank you very much. And going to have you show off just a few of these. There's some acrylic keychains as well here. I love that I'm getting to make you do this, and I'm the one talking about them for now. This is like the role reversal. But yeah, we have the acrylic keychains. These are a $5 minimum donation, and all of these, again, are open from when Xenoblade Chronicles 2 starts all the way through Odin Sphere, all the way until Odin Sphere. So thank you for those. And then on top of that, in the same vein, I'm just going to reach right here for a moment, we've got the two rubber ones.
That's not what the hands were for, but thanks, Hobbs.
We got to get you some white gloves.
I didn't bring them.
We've got two rubber keychains as well. There are also two card wallets that are that you can see pictures of online. We don't have them in front of us here, but $5 minimum donation, again, to get those in, and of course, see the website for details. Well, Sent, I will go ahead and take those from you, I guess. Doing a great job, as always, being our prize model, but thanks for joining me.
Thanks for having me, Hobbs.
Fantastic run. Way to kick off the marathon, and we've got a lot more in store, so please, everybody, get ready for Adventures of Mana coming up next with Smelly McTroll, which is the best username ever.